Welcome back, Egyptology lovers. Like Chapter 110 on the preceding plate 34, Chapter 148 with its vignettes is among the most popular of chapters in the Book of the Dead, a repertoire during this period. The scene is found in private tombs, temples, and even royal tombs. In private tombs, this chapter usually appears in connection with the false door stela, where the offerings are presented on behalf of the deceased. This is fitting since the 7 celestial cows and their bowl are identified as donors of bread and beer to the souls of the dead. So you could see here the 7 cows and their bowl at the bottom. In 𝓄𝓈�𝑇𝑌𝑙 Book of the Dead, furthermore, chapter 148 appears directly after the description of the field of offerings. Chapter 148 is presented here in the same fashion as the vignette for chapter 125. We see the scene as if it had been kept hidden inside of the shrine like a place until the front doors were flung open in 𝓄𝓈𝑖's behalf. So you can see here the doors are flung open, these 2 types of doors here. So it looks like he entered into this place. 𝓄𝓈𝑖's text represents a much shorter version than the translation that appears on this plate, but the omitted material is too informative to pass over, especially because the abridged text in this papyrus left out the names of the cows and the bulls. 𝓄𝓈𝑖's version simply presents the opening speech and the brief address to the 4 steering oars of the sky and to the 3 standing deities behind each oar. Perhaps the scribe who composed this scene for 𝓄𝓈𝑖 felt that the names of the 7 celestial cows were so familiar that there was no need to supply them at all. In the lower left corner, 𝓄𝓈𝑖 presents open lotus flowers right over here. They're open, they're blooming, which have been placed on the top of 2 offering stands. He stands with his hands raised in prayer before the hawk-headed deity who wears a sun disk on his head with a pendant uraeus, so you can see it over here. This is certainly Re, since he is the god addressed in the short retrograde prayer above the scene. Other sources identify this as god Re-Horacti, so you know it's Re because he's been identified here as Re, right there. The cows are depicted as mummiform animals, each with a solar disk between her horns and the 𝓄𝓈𝑖𝑇 collar around her neck, like the 𝓄𝓈𝑖𝑇 cow in the chapter 117, which is the celestial cow of the flood. So the 𝓄𝓈𝑖𝑇 collar and the horns on the very top there. Before each cow in the bull is a group of offerings. The introduction text indicates that the motherly cows might also serve as the means of 𝓄𝓈𝑖's rebirth in the next world. The cow is one of the most common manifestations of the god Hathor, and goddess known as the 7 Hathors have an important role in the Egyptian religion as deities connected with the fate. The bull at the bottom of the columns bears no aspect of divinity at the very bottom here, and is identified as a husband of the cows. According to the text, the 4 steering oars are also seen as providers of both protection and flood for the deceased, right over here, the 4 oars. Perhaps it was this reason that the 10 similar oars were placed alongside the shrines containing Tutankhamun's sarcophagus. If you look at the pictures of Tutankhamun, you saw oars around his shrine, which denotes that he will be traveling on the waters, and the oars are there to help him. After the description of the steering oars, more complete versions include a prayer address to the mothers and fathers of the gods, then close with a lengthy rubric. Both have been omitted in 𝓄𝓈𝑖's papyrus. The rubric, like several others, seem to describe the image magic that is to be used in connection with this chapter. The text insists that the chapter is to be read by the deceased on his behalf alone, and that by reciting the spell he will be protected and provisioned in the god's domain. So that's pretty much a description of this particular papyrus. Very simplified form for 𝓄𝓈𝑖 in this book compared to the more extensive one. So let's go ahead and start reading the text, and we'll go right over here, starting from right over here. So stay tuned for that. All right, welcome back, everybody. So we're going to start reading the hieroglyphs here, starting from there. Here it says, word spoken by the Osiris Ani, vindicated or justified. Hail to you, Re, in who is in all. Lord of truth, unique of unique ones, Lord of eternity, who made everlasting or forever. I have come before you, Lord, Re, you who shine as of Lord of the 7 cows, together with their bull. The king who gives bread and beer to they who are beneficial to the soul, together with the bodies. May he come forth under their parts. May he be like the unique ones, continues here, the unique ones, and who shall enter to eternity together with everlasting. May his soul enter in the beautiful west by the Osiris Ani vindicated or justified. All right, now we're going to move over to reading the individual cows and then the bull combined with the cow here and then the oars. So let's go over here now, starting there. Oh, good power, good steering oar of the northern sky. O wanderer who guides the two lands, the good steering oar of the western sky. O shining one who dwells in the mansion of images, the good steering oar of the eastern sky. Final one. O preeminent one or foremost one who dwells in the mansion of the red ones. So the red ones, which continues here. Good steering oar of the southern sky. So that's the completion of the cows. And this is a short version. Now we're going to go over here. Oh, the gods who are above the sky and earth, guiding to the duat. Oh, the god, the mothers who are above the sky and earth in the god's domain and in the house of Osiris. Oh, gods who guide to the sacred land, which continues here, sacred, who are above the sky and earth of the duat. O followers of Re, who are in and after Osiris. So that's the completion of the translation. And thank you very much for tuning in for this particular Plate 35. Please stay tuned for Plate 36. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed this as well. And please like and subscribe and follow me on my other social media, such as TikTok, Facebook, and Tumblr, as well as my big one, which is Instagram. Thank you and have a wonderful day.